poor boy's struggle. There was once a boy named Sam who lived in a small village with his mother. Sam's family was very poor. His father had passed away when he was young, and since then, his mother worked very hard to take care of him. They didn't have much, but they had each other, and that was enough for Sam. Every morning, Sam would wake up early to help his mother with the chores. He would fetch water from the well, clean the house, and then go to school. Sam loved learning, but it wasn't easy for him. His clothes were old and worn, and he didn't have all the books the other children had. Sometimes his classmates would make fun of him because of this, but Sam didn't let it bother him. One day, Sam's teacher announced that there would be an important test at the end of the month. The students who did well would win a scholarship to study in the city. Sam knew this was his chance to help his mother and improve their lives. If he won the scholarship, he could continue his education without worrying about the cost. But studying for the test wasn't easy. Sam didn't have enough money to buy the books he needed, and there were times when there wasn't enough food at home. He often studied by the light of a small candle late into the night, feeling hungry but determined. His mother worried about him, but Sam would always say, "Don't worry, Mom. I'll make it through." Some days, Sam felt discouraged. He saw other children with more money, better clothes, and full meals, and it seemed unfair. But then he would remember his mother's hard work and how much she had sacrificed for him. That thought gave him strength. "I can't give up," he told himself. "I have to try my best for her." As the test day approached, Sam studied harder than ever. He borrowed books from his teacher and asked for extra lessons. Even when he was tired and hungry, he pushed himself to keep going. Finally, the day of the test arrived. Sam was nervous, but he gave it everything he had. He answered the questions carefully, using all the knowledge he had gained over the past weeks. When the test was over, Sam didn't know if he had done enough, but he felt proud of himself for trying. A week later, the results were announced. Sam had passed with the highest score in his class. He had won the scholarship. When he told his mother, she cried tears of joy. "You did it, Sam," she said, hugging him tightly. From that day on, Sam's life began to change. With the scholarship, he was able to study in the city, and he worked even harder to make the most of the opportunity. He never forgot the struggles he and his mother had faced, and he was determined to make a better future for them both. Moral: hard work and determination and help us overcome even the toughest challenges. No matter how difficult the situation, if we stay focused and keep trying, we can achieve our goals and make life better for ourselves and those we love. Part 2. After Sam moved to the city for his studies, he found life there very different from the village. The city was big and busy, with tall buildings and crowded streets. The school was much larger than his old one, and there were many new faces. At first, Sam felt a little lost. Everything seemed so fast, and he missed the quiet life of the village and his mother's comforting presence. But Sam knew why he was there. He had worked so hard to get this scholarship, and he wasn't going to waste the opportunity. Even though he was nervous, he reminded himself, "I'm here for a reason. I must stay strong." The city school was challenging. The teachers expected a lot from the students, and many of his classmates came from wealthy families. They had all the resources Sam didn't have: new books, private tutors, and everything they needed to succeed. But Sam didn't let this discourage him. He knew that even if he didn't have all those things, he had something just as important: determination and the will to work hard. Every day, Sam woke up early to study. He made friends with some of his classmates who helped him with the lessons he found difficult. Whenever he had free time, he went to the library to read extra materials. He also took on small jobs in the evening, like delivering newspapers, to earn a little money to send home to his mother. There were times when Sam felt overwhelmed. The pressure of schoolwork, the need to earn money, and the loneliness of being away from his mother made it hard. Some nights he would lie awake thinking about giving up, but then he remembered why he was there. "I can't quit now," he would tell himself. "I've come too far to stop." One day, after a particularly difficult week of exams, Sam received a letter from his mother. She wrote about how proud she was of him and how much she missed him. She also told him that their neighbors had heard about his success and were rooting for him. The letter gave Sam a renewed sense of purpose. It reminded him that he wasn't just studying for himself. He was studying for his family, for his mother who had sacrificed so much, and for all the people who believed in him. As the months went by, Sam's hard work began to pay off. His grades improved, and his teachers noticed his dedication. Some even offered him extra help after class, seeing how committed he was to his education. Slowly but surely, Sam started to gain confidence. He knew that his struggle wasn't over, but he also knew that with patience and persistence, he could handle whatever came his way. One day, his teacher called him to the front of the class to congratulate him on his progress. "Sam, you are a true example of what hard work can achieve," she said. "You may not have all the resources others have, but your determination is what sets you apart." Hearing those words made Sam feel proud, but it also reminded him that his journey was far from over. He still had much to learn and many challenges to face, but he knew that he could handle them, just as he had always done. Moral: no matter how tough life gets, perseverance and belief in oneself can lead to great achievements. With a strong heart and steady determination, even the hardest obstacles can be overcome. Part 3. As Sam entered his second year at the city school, things became even more demanding. The lessons were harder, and the workload increased. However, Sam had learned to manage his time well, balancing his studies and the small jobs he did in the evenings. He had also grown more comfortable in the city, though he still missed his mother and the simplicity of village life. One afternoon, Sam received exciting news. There was going to be a citywide competition for students from all the schools, and the winner would receive a scholarship for university. Sam knew this was a golden opportunity for him. If he won, it would mean he could continue his studies without worrying about money. He also knew that the competition would be tough, with many talented students participating, but he wasn't afraid of hard work. Sam threw himself into preparing for the competition. He studied late into the night, reviewing all the subjects that would be tested. He sought help from his teachers and spent extra hours in the library. His classmates noticed how dedicated he was and offered their support as well. "You can do this, Sam," they would say, encouraging him every step of the way. The competition day finally arrived. Sam was nervous, but he had prepared as much as he could. The exam was challenging, covering a wide range of topics. Some questions were so difficult that Sam wasn't sure of his answers, but he didn't let that shake his confidence. He focused on doing his best, remembering all the nights he had spent studying, and the sacrifices his mother had made for him to be there. When the results were announced a few weeks later, Sam couldn't believe his ears. He had won first place. He had earned the university scholarship. His heart swelled with pride, and tears filled his eyes as he thought about how far he had come. He immediately wrote a letter to his mother, sharing the wonderful news. His mother's reply came shortly after, filled with joy and gratitude. "You have made me the happiest mother in the world," she wrote. "I always knew you were special, and now the world knows it too." Sam's victory wasn't just a personal triumph. It was a victory for his family and everyone in his village who had supported him. Word of his success spread quickly, and soon people from all over the village were sending their congratulations. Sam felt overwhelmed with gratitude. He had achieved something he once thought was impossible, and it was all because he never gave up, no matter how difficult the journey had been. But Sam knew his journey wasn't over yet. Winning the scholarship was just the beginning of a new chapter in his life. University would bring new challenges, but he was ready to face them head on. He had proven to himself that with hard work and perseverance, anything was possible. Before leaving for university, Sam returned to his village to visit his mother. When he arrived, the entire village welcomed him as a hero. His mother, with tears in her eyes, embraced him tightly. "You did it, my son," she whispered. "You've made all our dreams come true." Sam looked around at the faces of the people who had believed in him from the beginning. He smiled, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "This is just the beginning," he thought to himself. "There's so much more I want to achieve, not just for me, but for all of us." As he prepared to leave for university, Sam promised his mother that he would continue to work hard and make her proud. He knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, he could overcome them just as he had always done. Moral: success is not about having everything handed to you, but about working hard, staying focused, and never giving up. Even the most difficult struggles can lead to great achievements if you have the determination to keep going. Part 4. Sam's arrival at the university marked the beginning of a new adventure. The campus was huge, with students from all over the country, each with their own stories and dreams. Sam felt a little nervous, knowing that many of his fellow students came from wealthy families with much better resources. But as always, he reminded himself of the journey that had brought him here and the hard work that had made it possible. He was determined to continue his success, but university life was much more demanding than he had imagined. The classes were more challenging, and the subjects more complex. Sometimes Sam found himself struggling to keep up. On top of his studies, he had to find ways to earn money to support himself, as the scholarship covered only the tuition fees, not his daily expenses. Despite these challenges, Sam did not lose hope. He took up small jobs on campus, working in the library and helping professors with research. His schedule was tight, but he managed his time wisely. Early mornings were for studying, afternoons for attending lectures, and evenings for working. It wasn't easy, and there were times when he felt exhausted, but Sam had learned that perseverance was his greatest strength. One day, while working in the library, Sam came across a professor who noticed his dedication. Professor Edwards, an older man with a kind smile, saw how hard Sam worked and offered him a research assistant position in his department. This job paid better than the other tasks Sam had been doing, and also gave him the chance to learn more about his field of study. Sam was thrilled. Not only would this position help him financially, but it would also allow him to focus on his academics. He accepted the offer gratefully and started working with Professor Edwards. The professor became a mentor to Sam, guiding him through his studies and offering advice on how to balance his responsibilities. With Professor Edwards' support, Sam's academic performance improved. He started to excel in his classes, and his professors noticed his hard work and dedication. His classmates, who had once seemed so far ahead, now began to ask him for help with their studies. Sam was always willing to lend a hand, remembering how his friends had supported him when he first came to the city. But life at the university wasn't just about work and studies. Sam also made new friends who shared his passion for learning and personal growth. They came from different backgrounds, and Sam learned much from their experiences. Together, they would study, explore the campus, and sometimes take breaks to enjoy the little moments of joy that university life offered. However, even with the support of his professors and friends, there were times when Sam felt overwhelmed. The pressure of balancing work, studies, and personal life weighed heavily on him. He missed his mother deeply and often wished he could return to the village, if only for a little while, to rest and recharge. One evening, after a particularly long day, Sam sat alone in his dorm room, feeling the weight of everything he was juggling. For the first time in a long while, he felt uncertain. Can I really do this? He thought. Can I keep going? Just then, a letter arrived from his mother. In it, she wrote about how proud she was of him and how much the village admired his achievements. She reminded him of the dreams he had shared with her when he was just a young boy, working in the fields and looking up at the stars. You have come so far, Sam, she wrote. Never forget the strength inside you. Reading his mother's words gave Sam the boost he needed. He realized that no matter how tough things got, he had already overcome so much. He wasn't alone in this journey. His family, his village, and his friends believed in him, and most importantly, he believed in himself. With renewed determination, Sam continued to work hard, always keeping in mind the bigger picture. He knew that every challenge he faced was just another step toward his ultimate goal of building a better future for himself and his family. Moral: no matter how overwhelming life gets, always remember why you started. Challenges may come, but with the support of loved ones and the strength inside, anything is possible. Part 5. As the years passed, Sam became more confident in his abilities. His hard work in both his studies and job with Professor Edwards started to pay off. His grades were excellent, and he began to stand out as one of the top students in his class. His reputation for being helpful and kind also spread across the university. During his final year, a major opportunity came his way. The university announced a prestigious scholarship for postgraduate studies abroad, which would cover all expenses. It was an opportunity of a lifetime, and Sam knew it could be the key to reaching his dreams faster. The competition was tough, and only a few students would be chosen. However, Sam wasn't discouraged. He had faced difficult odds before, and this was just another challenge to overcome. Sam dedicated himself to preparing for the scholarship. He worked on his application, carefully writing about his experiences and the struggles he had overcome. He spent sleepless nights reviewing his essays and ensuring that every detail was perfect. Professor Edwards recognizing Sam's potential, offered to write a recommendation letter, which added significant weight to Sam's application. The day finally came when the university would announce the scholarship winners. Sam stood in the crowd with other hopeful students, his heart racing. He had done everything he could, but now all he could do was wait and hope. When the names were announced, Sam held his breath, and then he heard it, his name. Sam couldn't believe it. He had won the scholarship. Cheers erupted around him as his friends congratulated him. For a moment, everything felt surreal. All the years of struggle, the sleepless nights, the constant juggling of work and studies had led to this moment. Tears welled up in his eyes as he thought of his mother and how proud she would be. With the scholarship, Sam would now have the chance to study at one of the best universities abroad. It was a dream come true, and he knew that this opportunity would change not only his life, but also the lives of those he cared about. Sam sent a letter to his mother, sharing the joyous news. Her reply, filled with pride and happiness, reminded him of how far he had come from their small village. Before leaving for his new adventure, Sam returned to his village to visit his mother and the people who had supported him along the way. He stood in the fields where he had once worked as a boy, remembering the dreams he had shared with his mother under the stars. Now those dreams were becoming reality. Sam's journey abroad was just the beginning of a new chapter. He faced new challenges in a foreign land, but he was no stranger to hard work and perseverance. Every day, he reminded himself of the struggles he had overcome and the people who believed in him. The lessons he had learned from his humble beginnings stayed with him. No matter how much success he achieved, Sam never forgot the importance of staying grounded, being kind, and helping others. He continued to send money home to support his mother and give back to his village, knowing that his success was not his alone. It was shared with all those who had been part of his journey. Years later, Sam would become a successful man in his chosen field. But more than his achievements, what mattered most to him was the knowledge that he had stayed true to himself and his values. His life was a testament to the power of perseverance, the importance of kindness, and the belief that no matter where you come from, with hard work and determination, you can achieve great things. Moral: success is not just about personal achievement, but about remembering where you came from and giving back to those who helped you along the way. Part 6. As Sam settled into his new life abroad, he quickly realized that the challenges were not over. While the scholarship had opened doors for him, it also came with its own set of difficulties. Sam was now surrounded by some of the brightest students from around the world, and the expectations were higher than ever before. Every day brought new academic pressures, and Sam sometimes felt out of place among his more privileged peers. Despite the initial challenges, Sam remained focused. He knew that he was not alone in this journey. His mother, his village, and even Professor Edwards had all believed in him. He couldn't let them down. Instead of being discouraged by the competition, he saw it as an opportunity to learn and grow. He pushed himself harder, spending long hours in the library and working closely with his professors to improve his understanding of the subjects. But life abroad wasn't just about academics. Sam also had to adjust to the cultural differences, the cold weather, and the unfamiliar food. At times, he felt homesick, missing the warmth of his village, his mother's cooking, and the simple joys of home. However, he made an effort to connect with other international students who were also away from home. Together, they shared stories of their struggles and supported each other through the tough times. One day, as Sam was walking through campus, he noticed a young student sitting alone on a bench, looking as lost as he had felt when he first arrived. Remembering how overwhelming it could be to adjust to a new place, Sam decided to approach him. The student, named Carlos, was from a small town in South America and had similar struggles. The two quickly became friends, and Sam found himself offering advice and encouragement, much like Professor Edwards had done for him years ago. Helping Carlos reminded Sam of his own journey, and he realized that success wasn't just about achieving your own goals. It was also about lifting others up along the way. He began volunteering at the university's mentorship program, where he helped new students navigate the challenges of academic life and cultural adjustment. Sam found joy in giving back and making a difference in the lives of others, even as he continued to pursue his own studies. Months passed, and Sam's hard work paid off. He excelled in his courses, earning top grades and the respect of his professors and peers. His research caught the attention of prominent scholars in his field, and he was invited to present his work at international conferences. Each achievement brought him closer to his ultimate goal of creating a better life, not just for himself, but for his family and community. As Sam's time abroad neared its end, he received an exciting offer, a job with a prestigious company that aligned perfectly with his studies. The offer was more than he had ever dreamed of, and it came with a promise of financial security for his family. Sam knew that accepting the offer would bring him closer to fulfilling the dreams he and his mother had talked about under the stars all those years ago. Before making his decision, Sam returned home once more. Standing in front of his mother's house, he reflected on how far he had come, from the boy who had worked in the fields to help support his family, to the young man who had earned a scholarship and traveled halfway across the world. Sam had never forgotten his roots. His journey was a testament to the power of patience, perseverance, and the belief that no dream is too big if you are willing to work for it. In the end, Sam accepted the job offer, knowing that this new chapter in his life would bring even more opportunities to give back. As he packed his bags to return abroad, he left behind not just a legacy of success, but a promise to continue lifting others up, just as so many had lifted him along the way. Moral: true success lies not only in personal achievements, but in helping others along the journey, showing that kindness and generosity can turn struggles into shared victories. Part 7. Sam's new life, now filled with stability and recognition, was a far cry from his early days of struggle. The job he had accepted was challenging, but it also gave him the chance to apply everything he had learned. Every project was a new learning experience, and Sam thrived in an environment that encouraged innovation and growth. The financial security he had longed for was finally a reality, allowing him to support his mother comfortably and invest in the future of his village. Despite his success, Sam never forgot where he came from. After settling into his new job, he began visiting his village more frequently. Each time he returned, he saw the same hardships that had shaped his early years: children walking long distances to reach schools, families struggling to make ends meet, and limited access to health care. These sights stirred something deep within Sam, reminding him of his childhood dreams, not just to succeed personally, but to uplift his entire community. With this in mind, Sam took on a new mission. He began planning a series of initiatives aimed at improving the lives of the people in his village. The first project was to build a school, one that would be closer to home for the children, so they wouldn't have to walk for hours each day. Sam used his savings and reached out to colleagues and contacts from his university for support. Slowly, but surely the project gained momentum. The village school was completed within a year. It stood as a symbol of hope, not just for the children who attended, but for the entire community. Sam felt a deep sense of fulfillment watching the students walk into the bright, clean classrooms each morning. For many of them, it was the first time they had a proper place to learn. But Sam's vision didn't stop at education. He worked with local authorities and NGOs to improve access to health care and clean water. With every project, the village became more self-sufficient, and the people began to see a future they had never imagined possible. Sam had become a beacon of hope, and the village flourished under his guidance. One day, while walking through the village, Sam was approached by a young boy named Kofi. He reminded Sam so much of himself at that age, curious, determined, and full of dreams. Kofi wanted to know how Sam had done it. How had he overcome so many obstacles and achieved so much? Sam smiled and told the boy about his own journey, about the days of hardship, and the people who had helped him along the way. He told Kofi it wasn't just about working hard. It was about never giving up, even when things seemed impossible. It was about learning from every mistake and being open to the help of others. Most importantly, it was about giving back. When you help others, you lift yourself up too. Kofi listened intently, his eyes wide with admiration. Sam could see the spark of ambition in the boy, and he knew that this was just the beginning for him. Just as Professor Edwards had inspired Sam all those years ago, he now had the opportunity to inspire a new generation. As Sam walked away, he realized that his journey had come full circle. He had set out to change his own life, but in the process, he had changed the lives of so many others. The struggles he had faced had shaped him into the man he was today, and now those same struggles were the foundation for a brighter future for his community. Sam's story was no longer just about one boy's journey out of poverty. It was a story of resilience, of hope, and of the power of one person to make a difference in the world. His mother's words echoed in his mind. Never forget where you came from, but always keep your eyes on where you want to go. And that's exactly what he had done. Moral: success is not just about personal achievement, but about lifting others up and creating opportunities for those who follow. In giving back, we find true fulfillment and lasting impact. In part, years passed and Sam's efforts continued to bear fruit. The village, once struggling with poverty and hardship, had transformed into a vibrant community, full of hope and opportunities. The school expanded, attracting teachers and volunteers who shared Sam's vision of quality education for all. The healthcare programs he had initiated improved the well-being of the villagers, and the clean water projects drastically reduced illnesses. The children of the village grew up with dreams larger than ever before. Inspired by Sam's own story, one day, as Sam stood on a hill overlooking the village, he reflected on how far things had come. He had once been a boy with nothing but determination and a few helping hands. Now he was a man who had fulfilled not just his own dreams, but had sparked the dreams of countless others. The struggles he had faced seemed so distant, yet they were the very foundation of everything he had built. Sam's mother, now much older but still full of pride, often told him, "You didn't just lift yourself out of poverty, Sam, you lifted this entire village." Her words always filled him with humility. He knew that none of his success had come easily, and it was only through patience, hard work, and the help of those around him that he had come this far. As the sun set on the village, Sam thought of the future. He knew that there was still much to do, but he was no longer alone. There were now many other students, teachers, villagers who shared his vision and were committed to continuing the work. He had created a legacy that would last for generations, a testament to the power of one person's will to change the world. Sam smiled, knowing that the journey was not just about his own success, but about ensuring a better future for others. His story, which had begun with hardship, had transformed into one of hope, love, and resilience. And as long as there were people with the will to work hard and lift others up, the village would continue to thrive. The struggle had been long and difficult, but in the end, it was all worth it. Sam had found success, but more importantly, he had found purpose. Moral: true success is not only about overcoming personal challenges, but also about lifting others up and leaving a lasting impact. Struggles are the foundation of growth, and through them, we can create meaningful change for ourselves and our communities.